The Broncos also could look to beef up their offensive line with another player with local ties. Davis said Washington right tackle Roger Rosengarten, a Highlands Ranch High School graduate, has good positioning, good footwork, and battles people. He could be available in the third round. Other offensive linemen who could be the Broncos have 8 overall picks, with the second one being number 76 in the third round. Could they take a running back as soon as then? Denver had a formal interview at the scouting combine with Florida State's Trey Benson, who rushed for 906 yards in 2023 and brought Tennessee's Jalen Wright, who rushed for 130, while the NFL Network analyst also pointed to Louisville's athletic Isaac Guerendo, who ran a 4.33 at the combine, as a player who has tested off the charts. And he expects Purdue's Tyron Tracy Jr. to continue to get better after he began his college career as a wide receiver at Iowa, before eventually shifting to running back with the averaging a staggering 7.4 yards per carry in for a top 30 visit. Both backs could still be around by the third round. I think Benson took his game to another level this year in terms of understanding and setting up his blockers, said former Pro Bowl defensive back Corey Chavou, who runs Draft Nasty. Knee injury in October 2022 and has yet to fully return to his previous form. The Broncos hold the number 12 pick in the first round and won't take a running back there. They still could take a quarterback in the first round after agreeing Monday to a trade with the New York Jets for Zach Wilson. If the Broncos were to take a receiver in the third round, Reid suggested Florida's Ricky Pearsall and Virginia's Malik Washington as possibilities. Pearsall really blew up his senior year, Reid said of a season in which he had 65 catches for 965 yards. Malik Washington is 5'9", 190 pounds, but he's a guy who can man the slot and
has legitimate speed, and he's got some game-breaking potential. In terms of running backs who might be available later in the draft, as NFL Network draft analyst Charles Davis highlighted Kentucky's 5'8", 200-pound Ray Davis, calling him a thick guy with speed. He ran the 40-yard dash at the combine in 4:52 seconds.
To Tennessee, will look for a center in the draft. They have signed free agent Sam Mustafa and have young centers on the roster in Luke Wattenberg and Alex Forsyth. Solid centers, though, often can be found late in the draft. Reid said to keep an eye on Miami's Matt Lee and Penn State's Hunter Norzad.
Luke McCaffrey is going to get a lot of attention because of the name, but he has turned himself into a player. Charles Davis said of the brother of San Francisco star, running back Christian McCaffrey, and son of former Broncos receiver Ed McCaffrey. The Broncos also could use help at tight end. Head coach Sean Payton really likes.
Intriguing to the Broncos in the third round or later include Texas tackle Christian Jones, Missouri tackle Javon Foster, and Michigan guard Zach Zinter. It remains to be seen if the Broncos, who lost starting center Lloyd Cushenberry as a free agent to Tennessee, will look for a center in the draft. They have signed free agent. Quarterbacks get the most attention in the NFL draft, but the guys who score most of the points do receive their share. The Broncos head into the draft running Thursday through Saturday, with getting a quarterback a high priority. Yet there are other needs on offense, including finding some playmakers. I feel like he's going under the radar a bit. One tight end the Broncos know plenty about is Colorado State's Dallin Holker, who could be a day 3 pick. Holker's one of those guys that I'd pound the table for who isn't going to go super high, Davis said. He could be a guy also who's an H-back, fullback type. Denver at some point could draft a running back after finishing number 18 in the NFL in rushing and number 19 with a yards per carry average of 4.01. The Broncos haven't selected one since taking Javonte Williams in the second round in 2021. Williams responded by rushing for 903 yards as a rookie but suffered a serious. Denver at some point could draft a running back after finishing number 18 in the NFL in rushing and number 19 with a yards per carry average of 4.01. The Broncos haven't selected one since taking Javonte Williams in the second round in 2021. Williams responded by rushing for 903 yards as a rookie but suffered a serious. Georgia's Brock Bowers, and he is a candidate to be selected by Denver at number 12. After Bowers, there is a big drop-off at tight end. Prospects that could be available to Denver in a later round include Penn State's Theo Johnson, TCU's Jared Wiley, and Kansas State's Ben Sinnott. I'm a big fan of Jared Wiley, Shavu said. I think he's going to be ready from day one. As for a pick on day 3, Texas A&M's Ainies Smith could be an intriguing selection, and it helps that he also is a kick returner, and Rice's Luke McCaffrey, a Valor Christian High School graduate, has been continuing to improve his stock while showing off his athleticism. Boilermakers Denver could use depth at wide receiver, especially if Courtland Sutton, who reportedly is staying away from voluntary workouts due to seeking a new contract, is traded. ESPN draft analyst Jordan Reed calls receiver